Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. Kamusta na po kayo? At sa lahat po na continuous sumasubaybay, nagsusubscribe sa channel ko, thank you very much. And for some of you pass by, check my video, please help us to reach 1,000 subscribers. We would deeply appreciate it a lot. And thank you very much. Guys, gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo yung mga sapatos na nagugustuhan ko in the 90s. Because mostly I grew up in the 90s, that's where I start watching basketball. Kasi sa Pilipinas, lahat ng pagbata ka pa, iniisip mo, wow, basketball, Jordan, and so many other players that you really love the most, that you really, watching most of the time when you turn on the TVs. So, ako, ng bata, lagi kami kasi nanonood ng basketball ng mga kapatid ko, mga kaibigan. It's because also my dad also is a coach in a basketball team and he plays basketball, and my dad plays basketball pretty good. Pilipinas, nakahiligan na namin na pupunta sa ibang bayan or we're gonna go somewhere else in some other town that sometimes you don't even use your own shoes or you don't even have a shoes. Wala kang sapatos, ginagawa mo lang is chinelas or sandals that could use in play basketball, or not even. So sometimes it's just like, oh, you would like to preserve your sandals is because if it gets break, lagot ka sa parents mo or lagot ka whoever it is, or your mom and dad's gonna, you know what I'm talking about. But as a kid, it's just like most of the time when you watch like NBA, when the game starts or whatever, it goes in a basketball game. When you turn on the TV, just like you don't even, most of the time you don't even watch on the game. You probably, just like myself, I watch, what kind of shoes is that? Ano kayong sapatos yun? Fila ba yan? Reebok ba yan? Nike ba yan? O Jordan ba yan? Any kind of shoes that you've seen, just like you get your eyes near to the TV and just like watching, what shoes is that? And hopefully someday you can get those. But there are shoes that I really, I'm sorry about that, I really love it, and I wish, like when I was a young kid growing up, like I wish I could have that someday. And well, luckily I got most of it, but not most of it, some of it, nakuha ko na sila. At saka ito yung mga pinakagusto kong sapatos ng dati, except yung Nike at saka Jordan, kasi sila ng time na yon, sila yung mga dominant na mga players. There are a lot of dominant players, but itong mga player na to, these are the players that I love the most, and I love their sneakers. And guys, let me start it with you. The first shoes that I love, it's from Reebok, and oops, it's a Reebok Shoes I. So these shoes, I love it. Shaquille O'Neal used this one, and I really love the shoes. And there are the other one that I'm looking it for, the reverse of the black, it should be white in here. The reverse one of this, I'm looking forward to that one, but that one is pretty hard to find. So guys, this is my first love, the shoes from the Reebok, because I know Reebok at the time dominate a lot. So Reebok Shoes I. Take a look. The next shoes that I love, or that I like in growing up in the 90s, again, it came from, look at that, Shaquille O'Neal. It's a shot attack. So this is his shoes from Orlando. And then look at the shoes, it's huge, like mostly because Shaquille O'Neal is a huge guy, center, and he dominates a lot in the center, and he dominates a lot every time when he plays. I look at the shoes itself, it looks huge, but when you wear it, it doesn't feel like it's heavy. It's quite light. Not probably because in the older days maybe it was heavier, but nowadays it wasn't. It's because whatever materials or the materials that you're using it right now, it's more convenient for them, for their feet also. And I tested it one, it's also comfortable even though this big, but I'm not sure if the pump is working and how great it is inside the court. But just to show you that this is the shoes that I love those days. So you have your Shaquille O'Neal Reebok Shock Attack the Pump. The next one, guys, I know this guy is a very slick guy. He plays really good and I love him on how the way he play. Would you believe it? Here we go. Reebok DMX. So look at that, guys. When growing up in the 90s, Iverson, like, wow, it's one of the superstars. I was thinking like maybe he's the one rising star next to Michael Jordan on how the way he plays, even though his height is not that tall, but on the way he plays, damn, it's really, really unbelievable. So guys, what do you think about this Reebok DMX? Take a look. Would you like the shoes? Would you cop? Would you drop? Or would you pass it and have to find somebody else? But guys, growing up, these shoes I really love the most. But the shoes that I would like to share with you is, I have the set of the Reeboks that I love the most of the time in growing up 90s. And the next one, guys, is also came from Iverson. And take a look. Damn! It's a black toe Reebok Questions. This is the shoes Iverson using it. It's the first time he was using it crossover with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan went on the other side and then he got a pretty good shot with this. So what do you think about this Reebok black toe? Actually, guys, these shoes looks pretty nice. The colorway itself is just like so simple, black and white, but some people sometimes, or some of us might forget what the shoes means about in the growing up in the 90s. These are the real shoes in growing up in the 90s. The next one, guys, is the shoes that I love also the most, that I was searching for, is also came up from Reebok. I love growing up in the 90s, so what I'm telling you again, I love Reebok. And Reebok Question. Look at it. Like, these shoes and this colorway, especially the yellow toe, is the one used by Kobe Bryant when he was on the free agency. And then he was looking for some shoes and give him a nice deal, but rather than that, he went to Nike. He chose Nike itself instead of having Reebok at the time. Take a look at the shoes, guys. These are pretty good or great shoes when Kobe Bryant was on the free agency. So what do you think about these shoes? Do you have one? Or probably you might look to find or to buy another one, which is nowadays they give on sale. Just go on the Reebok.com. They might give you a good sale, or they might give you a good price about these shoes. So take a look, guys. Would you cop? Would you drop? Or would you find something else better than this? So it's up to you. Last but not the least, guys, he's a big man also that I really love this player on how the way he plays at the time. And he plays before in Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton. And there you go. Reebok Kamikaze 1. Look at it. Look at the colorway itself. Just like before, you can only use the colorway of the shoes. That depends on what kind of color of your team. Or it's not too flashy, because if it's flashy no, before it's just like you're gonna get fined from the NBA. But nowadays you can use whatever flashy shoes that you really love and they won't fine you anytime. So guys, what do you think about the Kamikaze 1? Or some of you might know maybe Kamikaze 2 is more better than Kamikaze 1, but it depends on what people really loves or what you like. But for me, I'm looking forward, and then the shoes I really love the most, Reebok Kamikaze 1. So take a look, guys. So what do you think about these shoes? Like, it's huge, but the thing is, it's very light. But some of you probably want to say, wow, that shoe is probably heavy. No, I don't think so. It's very light. It's pretty good. I've used this outside and I play with it once. I think I've used it in the court twice, but it was really good. So guys, what do you think about Kamikaze Reebok 1? I already shared with you the Reebok shoes that I really love on the 90s growing up. because most of the time the 90s, I think Reebok dominates, and then a lot of players probably signed by Reebok, and some were from Jordan and the Jordan, like Jordan teams. But at the time, like, I love most of the shoes, but probably at the time when growing up, I love more Reebok shoes than the Jordan shoes at the time. It's because I really don't know why. Maybe probably of the players that the Reebok sponsoring the time that I really love, on the way how they do and the way they play. Like same with Shaquille O'Neal. Let me start with Chuck Noses, right? How the shoes looks pretty good, and you think nowadays it's just like some of us is just like forget about that. It's because most of the shoes that's coming up right now from either your different kind of company, they have a lot of collaborations. Probably some of us like forget about that the shoes before, like in the 90s, it's just like these are the grail at the time. So you have this Reebok Chuck Noses, you have this fresh retro Shock Attack, Reebok Shock Attack pump. Look at that, that looks pretty big. It looks like it's pretty huge, but you know, when you put it in your feet and try to walk it on, it's not that. It's just like it's so light though. And then I have this Sean Kemp. I really love that guy and the way how he plays before. Like damn, and how he dominates together with Gary Payton in Seattle Sonics at the time. Damn, you would definitely try to check them in YouTube, in other YouTube channel, on how the way they play and the shoes itself. It speaks, right? Then after that, you got this Reebok DMX from Iverson. Those are the players also that I love most, like on how the way he do crossover and shots and stuff like that. He's so fast, this guy, like wow. Take a look with the Reebok DMX. And not only that too, I'd like to share with you the next one. Again, it's from Reebok Question Black Toe. As like I said earlier, these are his shoes, his his signature shoes that he uses to do crossover Michael Jordan. And just like Jordan went to the other side, and he went to the other side too. It's just like, damn, how the footwork work pretty good. Probably you would ask me like, it is on the shoes or on the player? But for me, like probably it's on the player, because no matter how good the shoes is, if the player is not that great, it's not that great. But if the player is great, like and how the footworks from Iverson, the shoes really look shiny it too, right? So take a look. Reebok Question Black Toe. And then the other one is the Reebok also Question Yellow Toe. These are the shoes or the Reebok issued to Kobe. Or I mean, Kobe using it as it was his free agency at the time, looking for the shoes that could fit for him and give him a great deal. And they have this from Reebok, but rather than that, choosing from Reebok, he go to the Nike. But any other how or any other way has its own history. Everybody has his own history with the shoes that we have today. So these are the shoes or the Reebok shoes that I really love. I really like the most growing up on the 90s. So share with me, give me a comment down below what shoes at the time growing up or even till now, what shoes that you really love, that you really like. You have it or you might not have it, or looking forward for the near future. And guys, click comments, subscribe in this channel, and thank you very much. Have a great day, love your family, and always take care of yourself, and then respect as what others would like to be respected you. Thank you very much. See you in my next vlog. Ciao.